Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers analysis, and football is back. The Steelers Cowboys in the 2021 preseason opener, the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Pittsburgh wins to move to 1-0 on the season, 16-3. Of course, the score of the outcome doesn't matter nearly as much as the players do. So let's talk about who played well and who didn't in the Steelers' first game of the season. I'll just kind of go quickly through position by position. We'll have to go back through the tape to watch things second, third, fourth times. So opinions can and will change. So just a caveat there. But quarterback play overall, I don't think anyone had a bad performance. I don't think anyone was particularly great. Josh Dobbs is showing more accuracy than I've seen in past seasons. Had a really strong touchdown to Tyler Simmons, beating the blitz and throwing that one on the money. I thought Haskins did a good job with his progressions. Didn't really make any big plays, but no disaster plays either. And I felt like he was reading the field and going through his progressions well. There was one play to Anthony Johnson left side where he just knew where that guy was at, knew where his safety valve, his check down was at. And then once his first, second, third options weren't there, checked the ball down the left flat. So a good start. Again, just that for Dwayne Haskins. Rudolph had one poor throw behind James Washington. That was a bad play, but had a pretty deep ball to Chase Claypool deep down the left sideline. So I thought all three of those guys were fine to good. Again, no one super amazing, no one terrible either. Running back, two names to talk about, of course, Najee Harris getting his first NFL action, and just a guy that pushed the pile forward on almost every single carry. It took, two, three, four Cowboys defenders to bring him down. So that power, that leg drive, that physical run demeanor we saw at Alabama on display, and that is almost certainly going to be needed in this Steelers offense that probably won't have a great offensive line. We'll see how good or bad it is, but it certainly will not be a top five unit in all likelihood. So that was nice to see. Probably played a little too much for my liking, but got out healthy, and so it's all good there. Kalen Balaj really showed power, and obviously his career NFL numbers are really poor if you look at yards per carry, overall production, things like that. But we had talked about this right after he got signed. He's really had a lot of success in his career in short yardage situations. He had a goal line touchdown tonight, had a 4th and 1 conversion as well. Did apparently get hurt. Tomlin called it a lower body injury, so hopefully that's not too serious. But he was a guy that definitely kind of showed that power, that leg drive, and so Harris, obviously the every down back in theory this season, hopefully in practice. But if he needs a spell at the end of a long drive where it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and goal, whatever the case is, I think Balaj has a role there. And with Benny Snell hurt right now, Balaj is taking advantage of that chance. Wide receiver from an offensive standpoint, not really a whole lot to note there. Claypool had that great catch down the left sideline. Seems to be okay. I think just got the wind knocked out of him. Tomlinson after the game that he was okay. Seemed like he was laughing on the sidelines later in the game. So dodged a bullet there, thank goodness. But yeah, that was the big play. Other than that, Tyler Simmons with a touchdown. Some guys made plays in special teams. We'll talk about that in a second. But overall, Claypool was kind of the highlight of the game. I was a little surprised that again Claypool and Deontay Johnson played as much as they did, but those are still second, third year guys that I guess need some extra reps. Tight end lines were thin. No Pat Fryermuth, no Eric Ebron. Kevin Rader had a great block on the Balaj touchdown, just burying his man a pancake. I don't know who the defender was, but that dude got thrown into the turf, and so Rader pushing hard for that number three tight end spot. Offensive line overall, again, only one projected starter played in this one. That was center Kendra Green. Seemed like he had a good performance, nothing disastrous, no terrible snaps, no mental mistakes, things like that. I'm sure there was some assignment stuff, maybe a block or two that wasn't perfect, but just from a basic standpoint, nuts and bolts type of stuff, I thought he looked good. Other than that, it's kind of hard for me to gauge the offensive line first time through. Obviously, a lot of reps for guys like Rashad Coward, who started at a right guard after playing predominantly left guard in training camp. Did more, a lot of snaps at left tackle. Joe Haig had a couple nice run blocks, it appeared, but again, I'll really have to kind of comb through that unit second and third time to get a better feel for how they performed. And overall, just quick note on the Steelers offense. Again, that Canada motion, although it had the fumble on that first drive, which was frustrating, you're going to get that from this offense. You're going to have some really, great plays offensively where the misdirection, the window dressing, the motion's going to work, but there are going to be some negative things, especially as this offense tries to figure things out and the growing pains of the experience of definitely a new flair and flavor for this offense. So expect to be frustrated occasionally, but a lot of pre-snap motion. You're going to see a ton of that this year, no doubt about it under Matt Canada, some more play action as well. A lot of half boots. I thought Haskins was more effective because compared to Rudolph, because he could run some of those half boots right or left more effectively and has a little more mobility than a guy like Mason Rudolph can. And obviously, Josh Dobbs is very apt at doing that. Defensively, defensive line, I thought Isaiah Loudermilk had a good game. And again, like the offensive line, I'll have to watch those guys closer second time through. And even on TV tape, it can still be tough to judge. But it felt like he was getting off blocks more. He was chasing the ball hard. And I really wanted to see him be able to shed and disengage blocks. That was kind of the one thing I saw in practice where it wasn't, he had some work to do there. And it felt like he had success with that tonight. So I thought all those guys had their moments. Mondo was getting some pressure. Abdullah Anderson, a personal favorite of mine, had a sack late. I was really happy to see that guy puts in a ton of work. So it was just good to see him working hard until the end of the game. But and then Isaiah Buggs looked like he was having an active day. Carlos Davis got some pressure late. So again, it is a young, competitive, hungry group, and this battle is far from over, determining who's going to make the roster and who isn't. Linebacker Alex Highsmith gets a sack early in the game, a great inside spin. He showed that last year, couldn't always convert. He was converting more this game, so that was a good start for him. Maybe we're going to see a big year two jump from him, and I think he'll be the starting right outside linebacker opposite TJ Watt with Melvin Ingram, who did not play in this game, rotating in. But Jameer Jones was very active. He showed some power. He was making some splash plays, and Quincy Roche had a great dip and rip against the Cowboys left tackle for a sack himself. So a lot of pressure in this game defensively. Steelers were pretty blitz heavy, but even the core guys, the edge rushers, were making plays primarily in the pass game. Off-ball linebacker, again, not a whole lot for me to know. It looked like Buddy Johnson had a pretty good game, a good debut overall. UG3 had that missed tackle on 3rd and 12. That was disappointing, a play he's got to make, and so maybe one small blemish there. But again, I'll have to kind of watch those guys a little bit closer. But it looked like a decent showing for Johnson, and UG3, maybe not his best game. At corner, these guys were active. I mean, these guys do what Terrell Austin asked them to do: make plays on the football, be aggressive. And all those guys were making plays. Whether you're talking James Pierre with a breakup, Mark Gilbert had two of them. Steven Denmark had one on 4th down on a big play downfield. So a lot of guys using their size, using their length well. Sometimes they get beat. Justin Lane got beat, but recovered and had a forced fumble on a 4th down play. So he was competing, and you just see how ball aware and ball hungry these guys are. And the mantra is to take the football away, to make plays on the football, not just tackle the catch. And so you definitely felt that tonight. Donovan Steiner with an interception from the safety group. Miles Killebrew, a really solid tackler, going to be a core special teams player for this guy. Not a super high upside kind of guy, but a really strong, physical, reliable tackler. And then Trey Norwood, he was high, he was low. He gets the near interception. He blocks a field goal, which he came in scot free on the Cowboys blew an assignment, but still made the play. So that's awesome. But look too timid as a tackle. He needs to come downhill, play physical. His role is going to be on special teams. And so you got to be physical and tackle and have that 1-2. And I don't know if he's scared or just doesn't want to make a mistake and just doesn't want to give up ground and take a bad angle or miss a tackle, whatever the case is. So I'm not saying that he's scared, but he's got to get downhill regardless of the reason. Shakur Brown, undrafted corner from Michigan State, had three kick coverage tackles and drew a holding call on another play, all in the second half. Like it was back to back to back kicks, and so that's going to get you noticed because the path for guys like Matthew Sexton, who had a big punt return, for guys like Shakur Brown with the three tackles and the holding call, that's going to be their path. What they do on their side of the ball is important to a degree, but to make the roster, they have to be able to show something on special teams because that's where they're going to start out. That's where most players start their career, unless you're a top draft pick or something like that. And so I thought overall, from that aspect, some really impressive performances on special teams. And of course, who could forget Presley Harvin III? Put him in the Hall of Fame. They're already in Canton, Ohio. You could not script a better debut for him. Three punts, all inside the 11-yard line. The one that was bouncing at the half-yard line. I mean, you could not walk that down better and place it better than he did. No return yardage on any of his. They had good hang time. So just a really good performance. And if he kicks and punts anything remotely like this, he's going to win this job easily over Jordan Berry. Again, how he does the next game is going to be important. You don't want to have the highs and the lows and ride that roller coaster. But man, what a performance on PH3. The whole teamed okay as well. Sloan was not a very good kicker. Missed two wide to the right. Nailed a 48-yarder, I think it was, later in the game. So a little safe face there. But Presley Harvin the third, catch the fever, man. He was awesome tonight. So that'll wrap up things. Again, Kalen Balaj seems to be the only injury of note. Chase Claypool again healthy. We'll see if any other bumps and bruises come up over the next day or two. We'll see what offensive linemen come back healthy for this team. The status of guys like Benny Snell. Steelers will be back at training camp on Saturday. So I'm amped. I'm talking probably way too fast. I'm just super happy to see football back. We're going to try to cover this game as much as possible. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys listening, all your support. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video. We have a ton of football analysis and coverage coming your way throughout this Steelers season. Again, big win for Pittsburgh tonight. Just happy to see the team back on the field. Enjoy Hall of Fame weekend. You got 5 Steelers going to the Hall of Fame in the Canton. How special is that? So a really cool weekend for Steelers Nation, and we're here to cover it every step of the way. So thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.